rarely stay contained once more countries get involved. When attacks reach nations,
some of the things they might be technical.
We're charging you.
Israel has conducted operations in targeting Iranian military.
They have little influence over who gets nominated as mayoral candidates.
And in that show, he called some of the MPs, in fact, not even some, he called and referred to the MPs as crooks. Greetings and welcome to What If cAfrica. I'm your host, Busisiwe, and today we are going to be looking at a question that most have been wondering. As flights spike, what if Bitcoin is the answer? This is the show that keeps you up to date with the world's current affairs. Today we get into the thick of it and we explore ways in which cryptocurrency could be a game changer. Today we are going to be looking at the unexpected interception and connection between global conflict, rising prices, and the future of digital payments. Because while tensions in the Middle East continue to influence the global oil markets, the aviation industry is beginning to feel that pressure. And so that pressure may soon reach travelers everywhere else. To understand why this matters, we need to first understand the fuel that powers the aviation industry. Jet fuel is produced from crude oil, which means when oil prices rise, the cost of operating an aircraft rises as well. Recently, global oil markets have been reacting to the growing instability in the Middle East. Tensions in the region often create uncertainty in the globe energy markets because the Middle East is responsible for a significant amount of oil supply to the world. When conflicts intensify or when shipping routes become unstable, oil markets quickly get affected. Traders anticipate a potential supply disruptions and prices beginning to climb. Some estimates during the recent periods of tension showed that oil prices approaching $120 per barrel. For some airlines, this is not just a number. Fuel is one of the biggest expenses in aviation. In some cases, it accounts for nearly a third of the airline's operational costs. So when oil prices surge, airlines must make difficult decisions. Sometimes they introduce fuel surges and sometimes they adjust routes, but sometimes ticket prices increase, which means travelers begin to feel the effects of the global conflict in a very real way. This raises an important question. What if global wars quietly reshape how affordable travel becomes to the ordinary person? Because when energy prices rise, the ripple effects are felt by travelers across continents, even to the airports thousands of kilometers away from the conflict itself. The aviation industry is particularly sensitive to the geopolitical instability. Airlines operate on tight margins and suddenly increase in fuel costs can disrupt long-term financial planning. Reports have also indicated that aviation fuel prices have been rising as oil markets react to the tensions in the Middle East. For passengers, this may mean something simple yet significant: higher ticket prices. Flights that once felt affordable may slowly begin to feel out of reach. This affects family trips, business travel, and tourism. All of it becomes expensive when the cost of fuel climbs. To understand this more clearly, consider a typical international flight. When fuel prices rise, airlines may spend millions more per month simply to keep the aircraft in the air. The cost doesn't disappear. It must be absorbed somewhere in the system. Sometimes airlines absorb a part of it and sometimes they pass it on to the travelers. And sometimes they reduce the number of routes they operate, which can make travel options feel more limited and sometimes a bit more expensive. Which raises another important question. What if the cost of global mobility becomes increasingly tied to geopolitical tensions? Because the aviation industry connects the world, it also depends on the stability of the global energy markets. And when the stability disappears, the consequences ripple across economies and the households alike. But while airlines around the world face raising costs, another development is emerging from Africa that could reshape how people plan to travel. Now, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we get into what that form of payment is that Africa is developing. Remember, for more content such as this, you can freely visit our website at www.cAfrica.tv to purchase our cAfrica TV stick for just $999 once off, unlimited access to content and no subscriptions. Let's take a break.
3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
From sports to spirit, documentaries to dance, the cAfrica stick brings every story to your screen. Hundreds of channels, one device, no limits, just pure streaming freedom. Plug it in, power it up, play what moves you. Now available for you to purchase. Order now from www.cAfrica.tv.
Cryptocurrency has often been associated with investment markets and digital trading platforms, but its potential uses expand far beyond that. Industries that operate globally across many currencies may find digital assets useful in simplifying payments. Airlines are a perfect example of that. Welcome back to What If cAfrica. My name is Busisiwe and I'm still your host, keeping you updated with the world's current affairs. So the question that we asked today is that as prices spike for flights, what if Bitcoin is the answer? And we are now unpacking how global conflict can influence the price of flights and why cryptocurrency could become a part of the future of travel payments. South African Airways has been exploring the possibility of allowing passengers to pay using Bitcoin. If implemented, this would represent a significant shift in how airline payments work. Bitcoin is the world's most widely recognized cryptocurrency, unlike traditional currencies. It operates decentralized from the digital network rather than through a conventional banking system, which means travelers could potentially book their flights using digital assets rather than traditional currencies such as money. For international travelers, this could simplify crossing border payments and reduce the need for currency conversions. To understand why this matters, think about international payments and how they normally work. When someone books a flight across borders, banks often process payments through several intermediaries. Each step can involve an exchange rate, processing time, and sometimes additional fees. Cryptocurrency offers a different model. Digital payments can move directly across borders without relying on multiple financial institutions. This could potentially make international travel payments faster and in some cases more flexible, but it also raises an intriguing possibility. What if the future of booking flights becomes digital and decentralized? Cryptocurrency has often been associated with investment markets and digital trading platforms, but its potential uses expand far beyond that. Industries that operate globally across many currencies may find digital assets useful in simplifying payments. Airlines are a perfect example of that. Now, imagine a traveler booking a flight from Johannesburg to Dubai or London without needing to convert the currencies or navigate international banking delays. Cryptocurrency could allow payments to move across borders more efficiently, and airlines could use the open access to a new generation of digital connected travelers. There is also another important factor. Young travelers around the world are becoming increasingly more comfortable with digital finance, from mobile banking to digital wallets, and their financial behavior is evolving rapidly. Airlines that adapt to these trends may find new opportunities to attract tech-savvy customers. But here's another thing, or an angle worth considering. If airline costs are rising because of the geopolitical tensions and fuel price increasing, airlines may begin to search for innovative ways to remain competitive, which raises another question. What if financial innovation becomes a part of the aviation industry's response to global instability? At first glance, these two developments may seem unrelated. A global conflict affecting oil prices and an airline exploring cryptocurrency payments. But when we connect the dots, a bigger story begins to emerge. The aviation industry sits at the crossroad of global energy markets and financial systems. When energy prices rise, airlines face financial pressure, and when technology evolves, airlines begin exploring new tools that seem competitive. Bitcoin payments may not solve rising fuel costs directly, but it could represent an industry adapting rapidly to the change of the economic environment. Which leads us to one more important question. What if the future of aviation depends as much on technology as it does on fuel? Africa's aviation sector is expanding rapidly and more routes are opening. More travelers are flying across the continent. Cities across Africa are becoming increasingly connected through regional and international air travel. At the same time, digital financial technologies are growing quickly across African markets. Mobile payments, digital banking, and cryptocurrency adoption. All these innovations are reshaping how financial transactions happen across the continent. Africa has already become one of the global leaders in terms of mobile payment technology, providing services that allow people to send and receive money through their phones, have transformed financial access for millions of people. If airlines begin integrating cryptocurrency payments, African aviation could position itself at the forefront of travel innovation. But the bigger lesson from today's episode may be this. The world is deeply interconnected. A conflict in one region can affect fuel prices worldwide. These fuel prices influence airline tickets, and technology innovation in another region could reshape industries globally. What brings us to our final question today is, as fuel prices rise around the world, could Bitcoin really be the answer? Today, we explored two developments that are shaping the future of global travel: rising flight prices driven by geopolitical tensions, and the possibility of cryptocurrency entering the aviation payment system. One story reflects the pressure of global instability, and the other reflects possibilities of technological innovation. And together, they show us something very important. The systems that move people around the world are evolving, which is why we keep asking the question that defines this show: what if? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Bitcoin is something that will be a game changer when it comes to paying for these spiking prices of flights? Or do you feel like people who aren't in cryptocurrency are going to be left behind? We want to know what you thought of that. But this is how we wrap up the show. Remember, for more content such as this, be sure to visit our website at www.cAfrica.tv to purchase our cAfrica TV stick for just $999 once off, no subscription, and unlimited access to a world of content. Until next time, keep asking what if. Stay safe and stay informed.